Well, for more reaction to Mubarak's departure, we turn to Mona Eltahawy. She's a columnist on Middle Eastern affairs who's been with us throughout our coverage. She joins me now from New York. You know, Mona, if there's one person I think I would have loved to have been standing beside this morning, it's you. I would have loved to have been standing beside you when that announcement came down. So tell me what I missed when you heard the news this morning.
Well, seeing as CBC calls me a Twitter machine, Mark, you can find it on my tweet feed because I was actually on a live radio and television show and the news came on and one of my friends called me from Boston and all I could hear was sobbing and he was just saying, Mona, he's gone, Mona, he's gone. And I went back into the room where we were recording and they said, Mona, would you like to react? And I said, sure. And I just broke down completely. I just could not stop crying. It's such an amazing day, Mark. I mean, and we've gone through this together. Me and CBC Connect through the ups and the downs of this revolution. And what a wonderful day.
It truly is. And in fact, I found out from our translator, Amira, and I wasn't in the office yet, and something popped up on my BlackBerry, and I looked down, and she's saying, Mark, we did it. We did it. We finally did this. We came together to do this. And my eyes just popped out, and I thought, this is wonderful. And it was even more special having that come directly from Amira in Cairo to really make that connection as we feel the impact. And I know you were listening to my conversation with her. And, you know, you hear about her saying what this means for a future and providing for a bright new future. And I don't want to be the one to crash the party, but I do want to say that tomorrow when they wake up after the celebrations, you know, there's still the high rates of unemployment and there's still some of the problems that have been plaguing this country for years. So how do we, keep the momentum going so this isn't just a one-day celebration that gets hit with a cold dose of reality?
Right, absolutely. You know, this is the first step of many. I mean, Egyptians all along, all those thousands of people who went out and stood up to Mubarak and said, you must go, and defied his security thugs and defied everything he threw at them. Their demands all along were not just that Mubarak step down, or not just to get rid of the regime, but to have a free Egypt, basically, for freedom and dignity and all that means. And so what we're doing today is we're kind of breathing it in, we're savoring the moment, and we're saying, wow, what an achievement. But we know as Egyptians that tomorrow the hard work begins. The hard work, the immediate hard work right now, is recognizing the armed forces made the right decision by choosing Egypt over Mubarak. Yesterday when we spoke, it was clear that Mubarak had chosen himself over Egypt. Today the armed forces said, you must now go. Egypt has to win this battle. But now, our challenge as Egyptians who are all celebrating, and I'm sure the armed forces are celebrating too, is to tell them that this is the time now where we've seen people power, where Egyptians have awakened to their ability to peacefully, this is the beauty of it, peacefully overthrow a dictator of 30 years. And that power, the armed forces saw it in Egyptian eyes when they were sent out into the streets of Egypt 4 days into this uprising. The armed forces have been served notice now that Egyptians want a civilian country. They do not want any more military men ruling them as they have been since 1952. So we need to tell the armed forces, you must step aside, and we need to create a civilian administration. We need to get rid of emergency law. We need to look at those details that you're talking about, job creations, education, all those things that are incredibly difficult. But tonight in Egypt we celebrate, outside of Egypt we celebrate.
Yeah, clearly, and it is an incredible party, and everyone's getting swept up in it. But as we talk about the future of Egypt, there's one person I wonder about tonight, and what should the future hold for Mubarak? What should be done with him?
I want to make it very clear that as much as people resented Mubarak and were enraged at Mubarak, especially yesterday when he pulled this sadistic trick, no Egyptian I know wants revenge. No Egyptian I know wants to hang him in a public square. None of that. They want justice. So I don't know where Mubarak is right now. There's talk that he was in his vacation home in Sinai. But the Mubarak regime and everyone associated with the Mubarak regime must be held accountable. And that's part and parcel of what this revolution has been about. They must be held accountable for 30 years of abuses, of torture, of human rights violations, of stealing from Egypt. His personal fortune is estimated to be between $40 billion to $70 billion in the fortune, while Egyptians have been starving. So we must hold him accountable in a just way, because it's only through that use of justice that we really would have become Egypt, this new Egypt that we're so proud of. And I think this is something that people need to seriously look at. I've heard talk of a Truth and Reconciliation kind of council, which is quite poignant to talk about today because we celebrate the anniversary of the release of Nelson Mandela today. So we need to look to our friends. You know, Desmond Tutu was tweeting to Egypt today as the elders, you know, and he was saying that, you know, he recognizes the great achievement. President Obama mentioned Martin Luther King and Gandhi in appreciation of the non-violence of this revolution. And part of that non-violence must be a just holding to or a just accountability of the Mubarak regime, Mubarak and the regime.
You know, there's so much work to be done and so many questions that remain unanswered tonight. But you're right, tonight is a night of celebration. Mona, thank you for being part of the celebration tonight and for bringing your passion for Egypt and for this story to us. I think it's really helped us get a better grasp of what's happening over there so we can feel it over here. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for giving me a forum to share it, Mark.
Okay, cheers. Enjoy.